Okay. Uh-oh, my battery's almost done. Okay, we'll give it a shot. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Charlie. How you doing?
Good, good. Your name is?
Donald Desserud.
Oh my God, long time.
Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah.
No, time flies. Time flies.
Yeah.
Listen, what do you think of the NDP giving the suggestion to the conservative proposed bill, no appointee or people you know and all that? What do you think about all that?
I think it was a good idea, and it's something other jurisdictions have. And what I find interesting is the NDP proposed it, and the Conservatives thought to adopt it. It shows that once in a while you see some non-partisanship. They didn't simply reject it because of another party. That's healthy.
Were the Liberals asleep on this one?
I think the Liberals were not thinking of what the politics could be if they had run with it as well, or they thought that what's the point because the Conservatives will shut them down anyway. But the government in power, that's the one that has to make the big gestures, and so this is a good start.
Should Sean Graham say bye-bye for the sake of the Liberal Party?
Yeah, that's Sean's going to have to decide that for himself.
That's a political answer. Are you a politician or a political advisor?
I'm a political advisor in this case. This is a personal matter for a person, for someone that has a lot to think about. So I'll let him make that decision.
What do you think about Kelly Lamrock joining the NDP? Is that the kiss of death?
That's interesting too. I just heard about that. Yeah, the great editorial cartoon about it as well. It's hilarious. I knew Kelly a long time ago when he was a law student, and I would have said then that he was an NDP kind of guy. So I was more surprised when he joined the Liberals, frankly, later on. So maybe he's going back to his roots.
But is it the kiss of death for the NDP?
Is there any chance of Kelly getting a seat next election, for example? That would be really interesting. I don't know if he wants to run, but I'm assuming that he's not going to join a party formally unless he has some ambitions that way. Very tricky. Is it bad for the Liberals? No. The Liberals are changing chapters, turning the page, new chapter. They can sort of say goodbye. NDP are going to have to decide where they are, though, in the political spectrum. But he's certainly a very capable person. If they can use him effectively, then who knows?
Dominic Carty won his leadership in sort of like a coup d'état. There wasn't a proper leadership convention. You think that's going to hurt him?
Yeah, it could, but the NDP is not on the radar yet. If it was a little stronger party, then people would be paying more attention. They're going to be basically paying attention to how he does in the next campaign, and that's going to tell the story. If he does really well, then that'll make a big difference. If he doesn't, then maybe they'll start looking backwards.
What's more interesting, politics in New Brunswick or PEI?
Politics in New Brunswick is more interesting because politics in PEI is what politics in New Brunswick was a few years ago, and by which I mean it's a family affair, and people talk about it behind closed doors. It's not public like we do it here. So I'm an outsider. I don't get to hear things the way that I would hear. And to be fair, being a New Brunswicker, I'm better connected here, of course, so I would hear things. But it's not as public. It's not as out in the open as what we're used to in New Brunswick.
You allowed to make a prediction? Is Elworth going to be reelected?
That is a tricky question. I'm going to say probably yes, but the old days in which you could just assume that you'd be elected after one term, those days are gone. So he has to win that election on his own merits. It's not going to be given to him like we've seen in the past.
You have an opinion or shale gas you?
Shale gas. I want the New Brunswick to prosper economically.
At any cost?
No, not at any cost. And they have to figure this out. The science out there is so contradictory. You have one side saying it's totally safe, the other side saying it's completely disastrous, and I just don't see the sort of the moderate middle emerging yet. I really need to see those facts before I go.
You don't fool around with water.
You don't fool around with water, and you don't fool around with people's property that they have invested generations in, and I think what people miss, and those who are in favor of shale gas miss why people are against it, is that they're asking people to risk everything for a very minimal return. The individual families that could lose their properties if things went wrong, what are they going to get out of it? Just buy the house from them? That's not the point.
Were you surprised that Brian Gallant won?
Not really, but I didn't know him very well. I didn't know him. I just heard his name a few times, so it was kind of a surprise, to see who is this person and having to sort of see him there. But it fits in the model of what the Liberal Party's done before. Try somebody brand new, young, they hope charismatic and capable, and perhaps he is. So we'll see.
What do you think of U.P.E.I. going to the Human Rights Commission crying about his pension?
So who was it?
U.P.E.I. went to New Brunswick Human Rights Commission and said, they should have never cut my pension, my $6 million pension.
Yeah. Well, and he maybe he's right. Maybe he has right on his side. Politically, obviously, that's not going to go very far. But then he doesn't care with that anymore.
No,
So.
but it was dirty the way they passed that pension. The highlight of the flood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I know. And people did this sincerely, right? They thought they were getting something. I'm not against having strong, well-paid pensions for MLAs, because I want people to realize that if they get involved in politics, they're not throwing away their careers. And if we don't have that, then people are not going to get involved in politics, and we need better people involved in politics.
What did David Kuhn?
That was really interesting. He's a lot of experience, smart guy. I think he can do well with the Green Party. The Green Party has to find its focus is going to be. Is it simply an environmentalist party, or is it a broader-based party? And that's a tricky one for them to do. But they've been moving far ahead, and having a national leader with a national profile helps a lot.
Yeah. You think I still should be banned from the legislature?
I never thought you should be in the first place. So.
Hey, listen. Always a pleasure.
Always great to see you, Charlie.
Yeah, talk to you later.
You take